Today, we step into one of the most heartbreaking chapters, stories of famous female celebrities whose lives ended behind the closed doors of hotel rooms. These weren't quiet, expected goodbyes. They were sudden and tragic moments in places meant for rest, far from home, where dreams and plans were still unfolding. Some of these women were traveling for work, others seeking peace or privacy, but all of them had lives, families, and futures waiting for them. In this video, we remember the women who lost their lives in hotels. Selena Quintanilla Perez, the beloved American Tejano singer who brought passion, warmth, and extraordinary energy to millions of fans across the world, passed away on March 31, 1995, at the age of just 23. Her life ended in a shocking and heartbreaking way at a Days Inn motel in Corpus Christi, Texas. That morning, she went there to confront Yolanda Saldivar, the woman she had once trusted as the head of her fan club and boutique manager, after discovering serious financial problems. Inside that small motel room, a heated argument erupted, and as Selena tried to leave, Saldivar pulled out a gun and shot her once in the back. Bleeding heavily, Selena staggered out of the room, clutching her chest and calling for help, leaving a trail of blood down the corridor. She reached the lobby and, with her last strength, named her attacker before collapsing on the floor. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital where doctors fought desperately to save her, but the bullet had severed a major artery, and she died from massive blood loss at 1:05 p.m., a moment that sent shockwaves through the music world and left millions of fans in disbelief. She was especially loved for songs like Como a la Flor and Baile Baile Bom Bom. And at the time of her death, she was preparing to fully cross over into the English language market with her album Dreaming of You, a dream that was about to make her a global superstar. Born on April 16, 1971, in Lake Jackson, Texas, Selena was the youngest of 3 children and started singing as a little girl with her family's band Selena y los Dinos. She learned English first and Spanish later, but still managed to master the sound of Tejano, breaking barriers in a male-dominated genre and winning the Tejano Music Award for Female Vocalist of the Year 9 years in a row. In 1994, she won a Grammy for Best Mexican/American Album for Live, and opened her own boutiques, blending her love of music and fashion. Despite fame, she remained humble, often visiting schools to encourage children to stay in school and stay away from drugs, showing the same generosity off stage that she showed on stage. Though her life was cut tragically short, her funeral drew tens of thousands of mourners, and her posthumous album made history by debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200, ensuring that her voice and her story would never be forgotten. Today, Selena lives on as an icon of hope, perseverance, and cultural pride, a young woman whose light continues to shine brightly through every song and every heart she touched. Nicole Smith, the beloved American model, actress, and television personality who brought glamour, humor, and a larger-than-life presence to millions, passed away on February 8, 2007, at the age of 39. Her death was as sudden as it was heartbreaking. She had checked into the seminal Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, hoping for some privacy after months of grief over the death of her 20-year-old son Daniel and the birth of her daughter Danilyn. In the days before she died, she was running a high fever, suffering from a stomach virus and a bacterial infection, and taking a dangerous mix of prescription sedatives and painkillers to cope with chronic pain and emotional distress. On the morning of February 8th, she was found unconscious in her suite by her private nurse, who screamed for help as her bodyguard and hotel staff tried to resuscitate her. Paramedics arrived within minutes and rushed her to Memorial Regional Hospital. But despite repeated attempts to revive her, she was pronounced dead at 2:49 p.m. The medical examiner later ruled that she had died of combined drug intoxication, a lethal cocktail of legally prescribed medications taken while she was already ill, with no evidence of suicide or illegal drugs. A tragic end that played out in headlines around the world. Known internationally for her 1993 Playmate of the Year title and the Guess ad campaigns that evoked Marilyn Monroe, she had also acted in films like Naked Gun 33, The Final Insult, and starred in her own reality series The Anna Nicole Show, where viewers saw both her comic timing and her vulnerability. Born Vicki Lynn Hogan on November 28, 1967, in the small town of Mexia, Texas, she grew up in a struggling household, dropped out of high school, married young, and raised her son largely on her own while working as a waitress and in strip clubs before reinventing herself as Anna Nicole Smith. At 26, she married 89-year-old oil billionaire J. Howard Marshall, and after his death fought a long legal battle for a share of his estate, taking her case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Despite being mocked and misunderstood, she used her fame to provide for her family and chase dreams of acting and fashion, showing flashes of wit and resilience that made her relatable to many. Her funeral in the Bahamas, beside her son Daniel, drew worldwide attention and an outpouring of sympathy for her orphaned baby daughter. Today, Anna Nicole Smith is remembered not just for her beauty and scandals, but for her incredible climb from obscurity, her humor, and her tragic vulnerability, a story that still fascinates and breaks hearts more than a decade later. Lisa Lynn Masters, the beloved American actress, writer, and model who brought elegance, depth, and an understated warmth to every appearance, passed away on November 15, 2016 at the age of 52. Her end was as shocking as it was tragic. While on a modeling assignment in Lima, Peru, she checked into the Nuevo Mundo Hotel hoping for rest between jobs, but had been quietly battling depression and taking prescribed medication to manage it. In the days leading up to her death, friends said she sounded exhausted and withdrawn. On the night of November 15th, hotel staff became concerned when she did not answer calls. She was later discovered in the closet of her room, having taken her own life using her clothing. Authorities found antidepressants and handwritten notes that spoke of her struggles, and her husband William Brooks was left devastated by the sudden loss. Known to audiences for her poised and sometimes quirky guest roles as Dr. Goodman in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and appearances in Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, Law & Order, Criminal Intent, Ugly Betty, Gossip Girl, Nashville, and Iron Fist. She also appeared on the big screen in The Stepford Wives, and It's Complicated, and in over 30 national commercials, often cast as confident, stylish women or offbeat comedic characters. Born on March 20, 1964, in Omaha, Nebraska, and raised in Asheville, North Carolina, she grew up with a love of performance and dance. Graduated from Appalachian State University with a degree in broadcasting and a minor in modern dance, then earned a place at Columbia University's Graduate School of Journalism. She began her working life as a news reporter and model, moved to New York City to sign with Ford Models and study acting with the Barrow Group and improv pioneer Gary Austin, and slowly built an eclectic resume on stage and screen. Her off-Broadway performances, including All in the Timing, the Universal Language, staged as a benefit for 9/11's victims, showed her empathy and generosity, and she was known by friends as someone whose warmth, humor, and tenacious spirit lit up every room. Even as she faced her own private struggles, she continued to work, to study, and to support others. Today, Lisa Lynn Masters is remembered not only for the beauty and professionalism she brought to her roles, but for the kindness and resilience she showed throughout her life, leaving behind a legacy of talent and compassion that still inspires those who knew and watched her.